Competition beat us again.
How?
They have a better finance system than we do.
I feel like they might have a better finance system than we do.
Workday.
How do they make better decisions faster?
Workday.
It's gotta be something.
Workday.
I think I got something.
Work.
Rob, I think
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Hello.
There you go.
Hey, there he is.
Workday, the finance, HR, and planning system for a changing world.
I'd like to share with you some lessons learned in the last 1 year, which, as you'll all agree with me, has been a very interesting year full of uncertainty. There are 3 themes that are top of mind when I think of the last year and lessons learned. First one is human capital. We are just as good as our teams are. And when it came to hiring virtually and building our existing team morale, they were 2 very important areas and key lessons learned there. So let me elaborate on that a little bit. I made my first virtual hire in the first half of 2020, right at the onset of the pandemic. Subsequently, I had another person on my team in the second half, and I have to say they're 2 rock star senior analysts, and I still have not met them. The point being, it can be done. Virtual hiring is certainly possible and can be successful. I've experienced this myself. We just have to adapt and learn in how we go about that hiring process, the approach we take, the evaluation criteria, and also how do you integrate this new talent into the organization, which is equally as important. Like I said, I have yet to meet some of this fantastic talent on my team, but it takes that little bit of extra effort to ensure that without meeting somebody in person, you want to make sure they're integrated into the company, the culture, and feel like they're part of the team, which is very, very important. In addition to focusing on hiring new talent, a big area of focus was also on how do you engage, motivate, and manage your teams, existing teams. As I said earlier, we're just as good as our teams are in terms of producing quality work product. How do you do that? How do you manage, motivate new tools in our toolbox around virtual happy hours, if you will, and other engagement activities, maybe more one-to-one time virtually with the team members, whatever it takes. And every individual is different, every situation is different, so there's no one size fits all. But the lesson learned here is that needs to be a key area of focus and ensure that the teams are motivated, they're engaged, and feel like they're part of the team. The second area, or theme rather, is agility. Given the uncertainty we were dealing with in 2020 with the pandemic, there was a need for us to move very quickly. Speed was important to mobilize and keep a pulse on the markets from a debt capital markets perspective. Very early on, that was a key area of focus for a lot of finance and treasury areas to go either drawn revolvers out of either an abundance of caution or just for a need to have that liquidity, as well as to go set up incremental debt facilities or even price them out if you didn't need them today, to evaluate, well, what is it going to take? And be able to have that information readily available for your management teams and board members. But that required speed, agility, and adapt quickly to what was happening in the markets, and also looking at what are your peers doing. You generally don't want to be out on an island doing your own thing. So looking at how are your peers and other companies reacting to this situation, speaking to your bankers and understanding what they think, what they're seeing. Importantly, being agile. Another area of agility from my perspective is efforts that companies took around cash forecasting, liquidity planning, in some cases rolling out in record time global cash forecasting processes for multiple countries, and ensuring that the corporate treasury and finance organization and the CFO have a good understanding of what the global liquidity needs are, particularly in that time of uncertainty. And last but not the least, the theme and lesson learned I'll leave you with is don't forget the lessons learned. And what I mean by that is let's embrace the new normal. There can be a tendency to try and revert to the old ways. I don't think that is the right way to approach this. I think we need to keep the discipline, the cadence we've developed around various processes, and each company is different in how they've done this. But whatever it is you have done, let's keep that cadence and embrace this new normal, whether it's hybrid work environment, how we've learned how to hire, how we've learned how to manage the teams remotely, and the processes we put in place. I think keeping that cadence and embracing the new normal will be important.